Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Welcome to Italy and another map tour. But I do have a feeling this will be a map tour unlike any other that has been done by me before. See that train out there in the distance moving along? Pretty nice. So I am on the Italia Emelia extension map. This is a really interesting map. And it appeared recently in FS22. You can see, really high quality images and so forth. So I'll let the map author speak for themselves as you kind of take a look at some of this and listen to the monks. So we'll move away here so that you're not distracted by the chanting in the background. But the information is, the Italia Emelia extension map is the result of almost 3 years of work. The first part was released in 28th March 2021 for Farming Simulator 19, and now the map has been expanded for Farming Simulator 22 with this new version. This project required a vast amount of work, almost 1,500 hours in total, as we wanted to challenge ourselves to design every building and every detail from scratch. Every street, every railway, every building, and every fence is custom made in-house. The goal was to give to the player a completely new game experience, both in terms of graphics and, as we can see later, gameplay. As with any good game map, there is a backstory for every player to choose, and Italia Emelia is no exception. We wanted to create an infinite number of branches for the player to take to create a story which is both engaging but infinitely unique. The map centers heavily around a career and how that intertwines within the map's buildings, farms, and husbandries, and other interactive objects. So I'm not going to continue reading the description. If you're interested, I'm going to let you kind of come across the interesting story points that they talk about. But I will explain enough so that you understand kind of the uniqueness of what they've done here. But the ending point of their description is still valuable, which is, so again, the goal of Italia Emelia extension was to give to the player a completely new game experience. Following the Italian style and following the infinitely varied avenues, Italia Emelia extension allows its players to use their imagination and write their own story of creating a successful farm. So you can see here they've got, looks like gelato or something like that. I don't speak Italian, so these signs are probably going to mean very little. They've even got, vending machines here. But, as you can see, just walking around a bit, pretty impressive. We've got some vineyards down there. Again, you've got kind of ambient noises. I can hear people speaking, probably inside this building here. Railways, a seating area. Again, I can go downstairs and explore. We can continue on down. We've got a little swing. Postcard stands with postcards. Another little shop here. So I'm going to include the link to the creator's site directly, because that's where they request you get things. You can get this base map for free. They also do have an HD textures edition that they do charge for if you wanted to do that. They've got the computer specs on it. If you're interested in that, again, I suggest you take a look at that. And that might make some of these signs, this one's clear enough, but, maybe you'll be able to read those other boards at the shops, for example, at the restaurants. So as you can see, pretty lush vegetation, an interesting thing, interesting feature set. But the thing that definitely attracted me to this was the amount of time they put into this map and the fact that they're saying everything is custom design. They're not using anything that is standard. That's what they've said. I don't know if that means they've done all the trees, or if they did just place the trees. I mean, I'm assuming the crops and all that are standard farming simulator, but everything else may be different. So it looks like this is a 2-field area, because you can see it's toggling between 49 and 21 and giving us the acreage. So in any event, I think we're going to be in for a treat here. Let's jump into the PDA. So first thing you'll notice is definitely a unique view here. We're up here on 49. We spawned in this location. There's the train that's heading by. Alright, so part of what they talk about, before I get too much into the PDA, that goes with the storyline, is another feature that I've never seen with any other map, is there is a 43 megabyte guide that you can download that will give you details of every farm that is available to you on the map. And so some of the ones they mention in the introduction is Deposito Ferroviario, which is railway depot, and then you've got Campagnano Nuovo, and the biggest one is Masseria Azzurra, and they, as you can see by the screenshots of the guide that I've included as I've gone through this, they show you what they look like. They give you some additional information, but they give you a lot of options. And so on the PDF, those are the letters here that you see: A, H, G, for example. If I go into this mode, we are again on New Farmer, taking a look at this tour. So you do own over here Farm C, which includes Field 1. So that is land that we have, but you'll see as you buy certain farms, some of them will come with the field. D has 14, F has 71 and 34, G includes 81 and 82, E includes 46, which includes a lot of broken up fields, it looks like, from the PDA. And you can see, therefore, because they're full farms, unlike the farm fields that are what you might expect in Farm Simulator, 37,000 for that field, that pair's 106, this one's 98. You can see $2.3 million for Farm G. A, which I think is the Deposito Ferroviario, is here, it's 6,000. So there's definitely options there. And then this is the Masseria Azzurra for over $5 million, which includes a couple fields and a lot of buildings and a lot of grounds. So you've got all the way from this end down to this end. The other thing that's nice with the PDA, you'll see, they give you details of all these farms. So this is the cheapest, this is the most expensive. I'm not entirely sure if they go up in order of cost. And then you can see L, M, and N are detached stables. And then P, which was up here, is the forestry depot. So at this point, now that I've mentioned forestry, this is probably another good point to note. There are 5 additional mods you need to make this map work. One of which is cranes and chippers for the forestry area that are specifically designed for this map. And then there are 3 sets of equipment. If you don't have them, it will simply ask you, do you want to download them now? So they're available on the main ModHub site for Farming Simulator. But you need a total of 5. And if you follow the link I have on the page to get you to the map and the website that they'd like you to download it from, which is here. But in case you obviously need it before you have the map and you can't pull it up as I am and look at it, you can go on there and it explains to you all the mods you need. So you can see again the fields, reasonable costs, 147. Again, this is part of Farm F, so it's 2.2 million, but the field next to it is 76,000. There's a couple fields there, so it's a little bit more. But 127, 89. Because it's 3 fields, it's more, 80. So you get the idea, but there are fields broken up here, and then some fields here, obviously, that are available but aren't actually specifically numbered. So the author doesn't specifically mention a number of fields, but as you can see, 83 up here, I think, is the highest number, but as you saw, there's a group of fields here that aren't specifically numbered that you can also go ahead and extend into if you'd like. So the divisions on the map pretty clear, so some multiple field plots, some individual fields, but you do have a lot of options. So let's take a look here, at some of the farm types, which you can see. There's A, which is the Deposito Ferroviario, grain storage silo, water tank, sleeping place. And then the Capano, I don't know. I'm trying Italian, but I'm not doing a great job. So, actually, Masseria Isuria is where we're at. So, Masseria Italia is the big one for 5 million. So, but there we have grain storage, sleeping place, water tank, seed and fertilizer storage, bunker silo, chicken coop, and 1.73 hectares of land. But yeah, if you want to know more about these farms, I'd certainly encourage you to take a look at the guide. And the nice thing and what they're referring to is you can really do a role play on this map, and it's set up to give you a backstory of what this region is about. The farms have names, so as you move from one to the other, perhaps you can run a story that, hey, I started out here, this is what my farm was, but then eventually you work your way up all the way to this giant farm in the center. Alright, so next we'll take a look at the starting equipment. So you can see there's just a small set of items here. So the small tractor, the harvester, and the seeder are 3 of the 5 downloads. The other 2, again, are the crane and the chipper that you need aside from the map. So there's a Fiat 670 100 horsepower small tractor here. You've got a 5600 liter New Holland TX32 harvester, the typical Welger 8000 liter trailer, a 4 meter header, 2.5 meter Rabe cultivator, the Amazon seeder, which includes fertilization, 3 meters wide. You've got a sprayer available for you for herbicide and fertilization. And finally, the header trailer to drag your header around. So, very basic set of equipment. Alright, so I've jumped over here to our farm. So, there is our tractor. Definitely one I'm less familiar with. But here is our little farm location. So, I'm not quite sure. So, this is a silo that then, I guess, sends things down there. We've got some bags of supplies sitting there. Check out the, well, I guess we can go up here to the door. So this is our sleep trigger. So you can do that there, which they did say was a sleep point. So I can see the header and the header trailer. The harvester is here, parked in this area. And so it looks like this is where the material goes into the silo. So it's like an underground bunker silo. And again, just the attention to detail, the different setup of things, just really, really neat. Even to the point of having cords coming to the motor and, heading up into the ceiling. I mean, they spent a lot of time you know, and I'm starting to see the value of that. I mean, it's just exquisite at this point. So I'm assuming this is our chicken coop. So there we go. We can have 600 chickens here if you would like to do that. Wasn't sure if that was, it looks like a gate, but it's not a gate I can interact with, which is okay. You're not normally needing to go into your chicken coop. And we'll head down this way. So, not sure if we have to give them water, but this is where we would dump some food. And then have the chickens doing their thing. And obviously we've got a really nice roadway through a nice arch heading over there. During the driving tour, we'll definitely take a look around. But I want to head over here to our, well, our overgrown field. So it looks like they had wheat. Looks like we've got some rocks here. So rock picking, ooh, some rocks is an understatement. Got some work to get this field going, that's for sure. But, you know, 4.45 acres, which I think, you know, is 0.5 hectares or something, I think it said, or maybe it was 1.73 hectares, I think. But once again, you can decide what you want your starting farm to be. Love the smoke coming out of the chimney there. Very nice. Okay, so down here underneath that tunnel, I ran over here. So here is our trailer, our spreader, our cultivator, and our sprayer. So we've got a little shed down here, and then this is the edge of our farm, bordering the railroad track, obviously. Let's not stand there in case the train comes by. But we're right here along the rails. Nice detail again for the crossings and all of that. But, you know, just even in this little tiny farm, just kind of a nice... Oh, there's the train. There it goes. So, there's the depot. Now, I'm not seeing any trigger to use the railway here. Or is that what's down here? Let's see. No, this is... okay, so this is our silo. And so, yeah, actually we might be able to do something with that here. So there's a dump point there. Let's see, what's this? I see, so we can rent the train for 1,000 an hour. So you can see so you can go ahead and do that. And then, you know, the train can transport things for you as well. Alright, so let's look at the other points of interest just to see what's on the map. So there's a wine production plant and an oil mill. Now these are down. Field 46 is Farm E, one of the ones you can buy. Okay, there's another rent train spot. There's a Western Railway interchange. WRI train. There's a Cellar MI. And again, that's on the Masseria Italia. San Mazzaro Fountain. I'm not quite sure if that's a sell point, but a bakery, a hostelry, a pasta factory, a Gragnano mill. Okay, they're all part of that. Tuber loading hopper. Should be like, I believe, potatoes and things. Goods yard station. Matisse Dairy. Another rent train location. Eastern Railway Exchange. And then we've got our location. And then we've got the MA storage. We've got a sawmill and carpentry. Wood chip. Again, rent a train. There's a gas station here. Alright, we already looked at the bakery. Okay, BGA is down here. BGA Italia. lime station, and some other things down there. So you can buy the BGA if you want. You can see 113,000. All right, so the crop calendar has some things you can grow in the spring too. Those windows look relatively standard. There's an additional crop here of white grapes that you can grow and harvest. I believe that may be the vineyard. Some of the vineyards that are on some of the custom farms may have those. So I'm sure they're a premium grape above and beyond just standard grapes. And so you can see for sell points, we've got basically 4 points, but canola can go to the oil mill. Grapes, olives. So there's the tuber loading hopper, also for the beets. BGA will take cut sugar beets. Cotton goes to the goods yard station. And then eggs, wool, milk. All these things can be sold. Silage grass, the BGA takes it all. And then from a production standpoint, I'm just quickly going through these, seeing if something comes up completely empty. Doesn't look like it does, other than, yeah, now we're down to the supplies, so that's understandable. All right, and then there's grape production waste, olive production waste. So that's interesting. So you can send that to the BGA. Empty wine barrels. And then barrels of wine. So I assume in the wine production you can do that. Looks like you can create firewood. I assume that's in the sawmill. So some custom productions here. Metal components, the sawmill. And then the pasta, I assume from the pasta factory. There are white grapes, and then pasteurized milk. So I assume up here in the Matisse dairy, you'd be able to do that. So here we are by the dairy. You can see again trash containers, vehicles. Yeah, lots of nice looking buildings on the map. I am not familiar with Italy. I don't know if Matisse is a major dairy producer there. Alright, if I just popped over to the animal dealer here. So there you go. No idea what he's saying. I'm sure it's important. Almost sounds like he's talking about the train, but not sure. So I'm going to run over and take a look at that fancy thing. Alright, so this is the Santa Lucia Gragnano. I am thinking that's grain. So I'm assuming we dump it in there. But yeah, when you talk about sell points, this has got to be right up there with some of the fanciest sell points I've come across. So there you go. You can dump up there. Can I go up there, or is that too thin? Yeah, too thin, but still looks pretty nice. Again, I'd have to, test and verify that how these triggers work and so forth, but, definitely a pretty elaborate building and a lot going on here. Again, another one of those vending machines, maybe a place for the workers to eat and grill out and so forth for lunch. Oh, there's a sign there, so maybe this is actually a restaurant. So, La Locanda del Cacciatore. Very, very nice. I will say that. Alright, now I've hopped over here to the bakery. Let's get a good look at that. So there it is. So there's a gate up there, I think. Does this open up? No, it does not. So we cannot get there from that spot. Some of these gates may be automatic as we pull up to them or something. Because obviously, maybe we have to come in through here if we're delivering. That will get us, yep, that gets us out to the street. So there we go. We just can't go through the fancy gate on this side here. But again, impressive looking structures. That's for certain. And that's over here near D, which is the Masseria Parma. And that one does own the little field, which is 0.5 hectares of land compared to the 1.73 that you start with over there. So even the gas station, definitely custom as far as I can tell. Not something I've seen anywhere. Alright, now I've jumped over here to the BGA to just take a little bit of a look around here. Interesting. Assuming that's for slurry. Obviously some bunkers. Other areas you can dump into. Nice fancy sign. So there you go. In less than 5 hours, Biogas Italia produces enough electricity to power one household for an entire year. Got an extra T on enough, but other than that, everything looks pretty good. So it's advanced and patented 3rd generation. So this is a fancy, modern BGA, according to those signs. So there's some more train cars up there. There's definitely a lot of trains in the area. And there it goes by, the actual train. So yeah, so you can pull in here, deliver to these locations, or actually I guess get delivered from. So I believe these are the lime. Yeah, you can actually see the symbols. So yeah, seeds, fertilizer, and lime, I believe. So this is where you can go to purchase those. Definitely much more intriguing than any other map. Alright, well, we couldn't be in Italy and not stop by the wine production facility. So there we go. That is the winery. And it can be yours for $100,000. Here we have the oil mill for $80,000. So you can do this work as well if you'd like. Yeah, but a nice little drive to get you in here if you're delivering to it or whatever your need is. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the flying tour. I'm not going to go up as high as I typically do because I think we're going to miss some nice details on this map otherwise. So you can see this is 46. That is an area you can start that was divided up as we saw. And so yes, this is just a lot of vineyards, which makes sense because it's got the wine production. So we'll head up here. Again, very, very clean edge map design. Continues on pretty nicely. I don't think there's actually roads that leave the map. So it is somewhat self-contained that way, which makes it a bit easier to maintain the view. Let's see, this one might head off somewhere. But yes, they've got construction that basically blocks us off, and even the part we can't go to, this is beyond, this is the map edge I'm hitting. You can see kind of what's there. So here's Farm G. Again, pretty impressive type of structures if you're looking for that specific type of thing. Some more fields here. A little bit of a river. See the viaduct the train is running on. So you can see some cars, so there is some travel there. They go around a roundabout, which is a nice little added feature for traffic there. There's the dairy we had just visited a little while ago, Matisse. Pretty complicated little rail yard here. So, you know, a lot going on. Some production locations and sell points, the granaries and things are around there. So you can see Depositi, Gragnano, and then, yeah, the road. But yeah, this is another point where we can do things you can see on the map. Now this is the forestry area, if you wanted to do some forestry on this map. Here's where they let you delve into that a little bit. You know, and it goes, got some ruins up here, but lets you head out that way. Now we're going down the other side. Looks like olives, I'm assuming. This isn't a field we can get to, that's off the edge of the map. But those would appear, I think, to be olive trees. This is our farm that we have here, Farm C. So you get to see what that looks like, and then the field that we could plant up and do some work on. Another way out of our farm there, across the railway. And here's some of the detached stables, as they said, so that looks like horses. Some fields. Another location for selling. There's the BGA. So I'm going to head toward the center of the map. I think this is the big H. So I think you own this field and then this vineyard down the side. And yeah, these are grapes too, but I don't know if these are the white grapes. But yeah, you'd pull up, head on into that. I gotta fly higher up just to get to this farm, but there you go. So this is H. This is what you can have for a mere 5 million plus. You can be up here looking down on everyone else and enjoy everything that's happening. What's this? Solar panels. So this is a field with solar panels on it. So I'm not sure. There looks like there's a sign down here. Let's take a look. Maybe we'll end our flying tour here, because we've seen most of the area. There's the ruins by the woods, so you can see, you know, this is a base size map. Alright, so this field hosts an agrivoltaic plant, a technology that allows the coexistence of photovoltaics and agriculture on the same land. Interesting. So all funds raised for the Italia map will be used for investments in agrivoltaics. So I'm guessing this might be a real thing in the real world. I don't know. But yeah, so they're growing sugar beets under the solar panels. Really intriguing. So that now explains the little stripes on the mini-map there on field 66, because that's where they have the posts, and obviously you don't want to be harvesting in between the posts, so you've got a stretch there that isn't planted. Alright, so I'm back here at the vehicle shop. I've gone ahead and bought a truck to give ourselves a bit of a drive. Let's see. Oh, can't get out here. I have to go around the building. So we'll go past the harvester and TMR mixer display. So we're down here toward the edge. As you can see, 2,000 or so down at this edge, and then as we head north. So let's see, we've got, and they're actual speed bumps. Look at that. That is some pretty crazy detail. It's one thing to have speed bumps just appearing in the road texture, but to then, is it sugarcane? That must be sugarcane. But then to actually have you drive over them, that's just next level stuff. Really nice sweeping curves. You don't have kind of the typical jaggy road surface that we've seen in other places. So this is taking us toward the BGA here. But yeah, very detailed road network. But yeah, that is the BGA. So I'll continue. There's the train. Gates are down to just make sure we're safe. Got a few people waiting. Again, yep, another bump. So speed bumps are real. But, you know, some nice little rolling hills here. But a lot of detail on the roadway network at the edge. Here's the filling station that we were at, the gas station. Definitely some steep fields, so it might be slow going for harvesting. Don't know, but yeah, I think here's another one of the roundabouts that we saw. We figure out where I'd like to go. I am here. Alright, so we're actually headed toward our farm, so we'll just keep on this road. That'll give us a chance to just see how that looks, but a lot of roads around here, which again I think would be very, very realistic for an area like this. You'd have the main roads cutting through, and then obviously the access roads to get to the farms and the other areas on the map as needed. So yeah, you can go head down that way. Go to those fields there, but this field there, yeah, right there. Now to the off to the right is our field. There's our equipment down there, and that's the tunnel we would go under the road here. And our entrance here is by these two urns, and we could pull into our property and go from there. Does it have a... Look at that. Masseria Azzurra. I wonder... Now I'm curious, are they all labeled? They probably are. So down on the left, we've got some more detached stables, as they called them. So there's something there. I'm guessing maybe pigs. Not entirely sure, but would make sense. So it looks like, yeah, we could go down there and... Alright, so this is the sawmill, I think. No, it's a train access point. So yeah, that gets us to be able to use the train. You can rent the train from there. So this is the roadway over here by the forest that we saw going around. Nice rock outcropping there. And then looks like a closed track, so looks like it's blocked off. And then this winds us around here. I see, and then takes us down into the valley a bit. So there we go. But definitely very, very well done. Alright, so if I go this way, it's cool. They've got like things that they've painted on the road. I'm wondering if it's might be that, I'm guessing it's the people that worked on the map, but it's pretty nice nonetheless. Let's take a look at the signs again. So yeah, Italia Italia, so yeah, they do give you those directions. I mean, I assume the other ones are just, but yeah, Matisse is the dairy, so we know that's up there. I'm thinking that means we shouldn't go this way, but I'm gonna be bad and do that, so I shouldn't have done that, but so if I follow the directions, I won't have a problem, but I'm choosing to be a rebel. So I will say, I mean, again, keep in mind they have a high texture download available, which, I mean, this looks really nice as it is, so I'm not entirely sure how much better that would be, but it's pretty nice. Bienvenido in Emilia. So yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying the view. I mean, normally I wouldn't. So here's that waterway we went over. Normally I probably wouldn't spend this much time driving, but this is definitely a unique map. There's a lot here, and definitely feels very, very different. Okay, so this is another one here, G. Off to the right side. I'm sure we'll have a little sign as well. Maybe we'll pull over and drive in there. Now, can I get in there from here? Do I have to have purchased it? Not quite sure. Alright, so I've gone ahead and bought that, and yes, now the world is open to us. So, definitely a bit run down here. But, you know, then all this opens up. Okay, can't use these, but that lets you store things. And some areas here. Looks like we've got a workshop. Oh no, that lets us get changed. I'm assuming this is our sleep trigger. Yep. And then again, we've got equipment back here, so we've got some sort of animals. So for pigs, 270 pigs. Again, very unique location for them. So I'm assuming some feed. I don't know if that's the bunker silo, or probably is, because this looks more like liquid for... Oh, that's diesel. Yeah, so I'd have to, you know, you'd have to see exactly what the trigger points are. So here's some more water. Cow shed. So again, very, very nice cow shed with some spinning equipment there. I don't know if those are the milkers or... So I can do 240 cattle here. Alright, gone ahead and bought myself some Holsteins because I just couldn't resist. I just wanted to get a look at the pasture land out here and how this all works. Definitely the nicest pasture I've seen in a long time. Alright, so back in my car, and for those looking for animals, that gives you a little bit more of a view. Again, this field is not part of what we own. We own 81 and 82, so there's a field in the back that we now own. You can see it lit up, and there's the edge of the map that we saw when we flew ahead. So here we go. We can see we got Borgo Piccolo and Sidoso Vecchio. I assume that's the name of that farm. And so now we've made it kind of to the opposite side of the map here. And then this will take us kind of around the edge and around that turn. But yeah, so we've got ditches along the edge, so we'd have to definitely be careful. You know, can't just drive off the field and do what you want. But there's a couple fields. But a lot going on, so you know, good sight lines, good visibility. So as we continue to drive along here, nothing to really say, hey, there's a problem here or there. Signposts that you'd expect to be there are there, and then some. So here's another location, F, that could be a farm that you eventually move into in your Italian adventure. Another swing to watch the traffic go by. Oh, big sign here. Let's see. So it looks like just a billboard. Grow together. Ah, giants. Nice. So I like it. Giant Software / Jobs. Maybe that is their version. Alright, so that little blue point off down to the side is to rent the train. If we went forward and up there. I'm going to continue on straight. I'm going to go drive by, and we'll end the driving tour there. I'm going to go drive by those fields that aren't numbered. I think they're just vineyards. But just really, really well done. I mean, the guardrails, perfect. Nothing's jagged. Just very, very smooth. The fences... It's impressive, I will say that. So, and there we go. So the fields are here, and they are, in fact, vineyards. So, got some grapes growing there, so you can just buy a lot of vineyards up. There's the solar panel field. So if you're wondering where that is and what it looks like off of the map, there's your answer. And we continue to just go by lots and lots of fields of grapes, which again does butt up against H over there. So let me just pull off the main road. There we go. Just a beautiful, beautiful view here in Italy. Lots of things you're not gonna normally get on another map, that's for sure. So gonna go ahead and do the Courseplay test. So go ahead and open the course generator, generate course, very quickly went ahead and did a great job. Let's check these kind of fields here. All right, so unfortunately, it does look like sometimes where there are double fields, Courseplay has a bit of a challenge. So if I picked field 15, it picked it individually, but 16, not so much. Similarly, 3 is separated fine. I assume this is big enough. No, actually they do run together. So 19 works, but 18 does not. So again, this is a smaller map. So keep in mind it's just a base size map. So you could go ahead. It's not as if you know, you're harvesting huge fields. You know, really the biggest field there might be field 20. You know, obviously combining 18, 19, they'd be pretty big too, but for the most part, you know, a lot of them work independently. There's just a few, so 65 and 70, which I think you buy together, show up in Courseplay together. But yeah, with whatever you do select, you're able to generate a plan, but once again, it's sometimes across multiple fields, so you'll have to determine your feelings on that. But yeah, see, so it's interesting because those fields I would have expected to have a potential issue of being grouped together, but some of these, like this, do, and others don't. Now, is this, like, you can't even pick 37 at all. Again, if you pick 38, you're fine, but if you pick 43, you get something together. So Courseplay will function, will work, and will let you generate some things. Okay, so I've gone ahead and spent the money on the high definition textures, so you don't have to unless you want to. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. So yeah, as you load, you get this very exciting piano music. Now, the piano music is part of the low texture as well. Immediately I noticed the tree. Definitely very different. And it is just the textures that obviously the map maker created, so, you know, crops and other things are not going to look any different, but the buildings should be, you know, more elaborate. Obviously the trees are. I'm just not sure what the best place to go and look is. Alright, so this is the super expensive farm. So this is the cellar. Alright, so if I go ahead and purchase the cellar, you can see this is where I will then be able to make red wine and white wine based on the type of grapes that we have. So grapes, a wine barrel, and white grapes can be incoming material. So here we need grapes in a wine barrel, and then we're going to get basically a barrel of red wine and 4 grape production wastes. On white, similar, just still grape production waste. But yeah, let's just take a peek out here at the farm. You know, and again, the specs for what you need to run this are out on the site. So obviously before you spend the money, make sure your equipment will run it. I've got a machine that's barely a year old, so I knew I'd be okay. I met the specs pretty easily, but you know, you're going to want to take a look at that. Okay, we're down here at the BGA. I know we went through here, but I'm not sure that we're going to see, you know, a whole lot different, but we may, so. I mean, I certainly can't complain about how it looks. How about that? It's definitely pretty nice. I know we were certainly over here with the different dumping locations and so forth for seed, lime, and fertilizer. So this is our bakery. So you'll notice here the bakery requires firewood. It's not just flour. So because of the complexity, and it also requires pasteurized milk for cakes. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kind of grab the productions up so that we can see what everything looks like. Alright, and so there you can see, to make pasteurized milk, we need the dairy, and we just take 4 milk and we get 4 pasteurized milk. And so if we are selling plain milk, we're basically getting a little over 2,000. We sell pasteurized milk, you can see it's slightly better. It's not substantially better. So the biggest usage appears to be because you need it in the productions of the bakery. Alright, so this here's the sawmill. I don't think we actually stopped by the sawmill when we were doing the main tour. So here's the wood chip pit. But this is how you can make firewood. You take wood and then turn it into firewood. Again, you'll take planks and you can get basically 5 planks and some firewood out of it. So if you're looking for firewood, it's better to produce firewood. And then here, if I take wood plus metal components, I'm going to get 6 wine barrels and 2 firewood. The Gregano mill is going to just take your grains and produce flour at, you know, various rates. So wheat and barley, take 100 of each, get you 70. Oat is 1 for 1. And then sorghum's a little better than wheat and barley. Alright, so if you buy the oil mill, the difference is you get some olive production waste. And the wine production plant over in the cornfield with the vineyards is the same as cellar MI. So you can produce red and white wine. Right. And obviously the brand new production facility, the super impressive pasta factory, will take flour, I think, of any type, and make pasta. And if you want fresh pasta, you just need to add eggs to it, and then you're going to get the fresh pasta. Okay, and getting metal components, you can purchase them as pallets from the shop. You can also, as you can see, buy a wine barrel or firewood, but we can also produce those. But I've not found a production that will produce metal components. So the other challenge you have is it looks like there's a Browd 9070 that lets you do white grapes, but it doesn't let you do both. The trailer that comes with the mod does let you put both in, but if you wanted to harvest both red and white grapes, you're going to need 2 different harvesters, it looks like. Alright, so I'm back on my farm. I did verify, went onto the Discord channel for the map, and was informed, in fact, that for metal components, yes, the only way to get them is to buy them at the shop. So if you're going to go into wine production, just keep that in mind. And you need 1 metal component, and you can buy 1,000 of them. So 1,000 of them is $1,000, or 1,000 euros if we were, you know, or you can also buy, you know, 1,000 liters of wine barrels. I don't know if that really means you have 1,000 wine barrels, but if you're looking to make them, you know, 3 trees and a metal component is going to give you 6, and then 2 firewood. And so firewood is basically $3 each, and you can sell empty wine barrels to places if you want. And as you can see, white wine is worth substantially more than red wine. So the last piece, not unexpected because of the highly custom nature of this map, you cannot sell any of the buildings. So what you have is what you get. So this really is a map that you're going to play as is. Obviously you can put your own buildings on them, and those would be sellable as in any map. But you're not going to be able to do that with what comes with the map. So you're going to want to pick a farm that you like the setup of as your starting farm. And again, the guide gives you a good amount of detail. You know, kind of the point of it in some cases, and then what you're able to, what it comes with, along with a graphical map with numbered points, so that it makes it easy to find where things are in your particular location. So overall, as I said, as I was expecting, pretty big treat going around. Certainly hope you've enjoyed the tour. I certainly have enjoyed taking a look at the map. With regards to would I use it, yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of those maps that is so well done and has just so much ambiance and feeling to it that it would be fun to play. I mean, it's not a huge map, so you're not going to be playing it for mega farming. Obviously it has some of the Courseplay challenges that we talked about as far as fields, but and being able to use them, but the majority of the fields will work. So and because it's a small map, I don't know that I'd be doing a lot of Courseplay. And I'm seriously considering it. Perhaps in the future you might see it as a map in the VIP series, because that might be an interesting thing to try with something like this, but then adding in the VIP orders. So who knows what the future will bring. But in any event, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.